What makes a volcano super? To understand how dangerous these giants are, we need to understand what makes a volcano super. A regular volcano can release ash, lava, and gases that affect a region or a country. But a supervolcano is in another league entirely. Geologists define it as a volcano capable of ejecting more than 1,000 cubic kilometers of material in a single eruption. That's enough ash and rock to bury an entire country like France under several feet of debris. Instead of a tall mountain, most supervolcanoes are massive underground chambers of molten rock, magma, that build up pressure for hundreds of thousands of years. When the pressure becomes too great, the crust above collapses, releasing an explosion thousands of times stronger than any atomic bomb ever built. The result is devastation on a planetary scale. Shockwaves, global temperature drops, crop failures, and mass extinctions, all from one eruption. And the scariest part? These events have already happened. The ancient eruptions that almost wiped us out. The Earth's history is written in ash layers and rock formations, and they tell a chilling story. The most famous example comes from Yellowstone in the United States. Around 640,000 years ago, Yellowstone erupted with a force unimaginable today. It blasted ash as far as modern-day New York, altered global weather, and left behind the 34-mile-wide Yellowstone caldera we know now. To put that in perspective, if Yellowstone erupted with the same force today, most of North America would be uninhabitable. Cities like Denver, Salt Lake City, and even Chicago would be buried under ash. Air traffic would stop. Crops would fail. The global climate could cool by as much as 10 degrees Celsius. But Yellowstone isn't the only one. Around 74,000 years ago, another supervolcano, Toba in modern-day Indonesia, erupted. It was one of the largest volcanic events in the past 2 million years. Toba's eruption covered South Asia in ash and caused what scientists call a volcanic winter, a period when sunlight was blocked by ash and sulfur particles in the atmosphere. Temperatures plummeted, plants died, and evidence suggests the human population dropped to just a few thousand survivors. In other words, humanity barely made it through. And then there's Taupo in New Zealand, Campiflagre in Italy, and La Garita in Colorado, each capable of reshaping continents. The Earth has survived these eruptions before. But what if one happened now? In our modern, interconnected world? What would happen if Yellowstone erupted today? Let's imagine the worst-case scenario. Yellowstone erupts tomorrow. The first sign would be a series of violent earthquakes and ground swelling as magma pushes toward the surface. Within hours, an explosion thousands of times larger than Mount St. Helens would send ash and rock miles into the air. Within days, 2/3 of the United States would be blanketed in volcanic ash. Cities like Denver and Salt Lake City would be destroyed. Power grids and water systems would fail. Airports across the country would close. The sky would turn dark. Sunlight would struggle to reach the ground. Global temperatures could fall by several degrees for years, maybe decades. Crops would fail, food supplies would collapse, and the world could face famine on a scale not seen in modern history. Airborne ash would damage engines, contaminate rivers, and poison livestock. And with the US, one of the world's major food producers, out of action, the ripple effects would hit every continent. In short, civilization wouldn't end overnight, but it would be tested like never before. And yet, even this nightmare scenario wouldn't destroy the world in the Hollywood sense. Humanity would survive, just in a world that looks very different. Could we predict or prevent it? The encouraging news is that researchers are keeping an eye on it. Supervolcanoes, on the other hand, do not spontaneously erupt. Scientists from the United States Geological Survey, for instance, keep a close eye on ground deformation, gas releases, and earthquakes at Yellowstone National Park around the clock. The ground literally lifts as magma rises toward the surface, generating changes that can be witnessed. These signals might provide us with a warning that can last for weeks, months, or even years. During that period, millions of people may be evacuated, and food stockpiles could be prepared. Can we, however, completely stop an eruption from occurring? Certain researchers have put forward bold suggestions, such as digging into the magma chamber in order to gradually release heat and pressure, or making use of geothermal plants in order to extract energy from the environment. Difficulty arises when we interfere with a supervolcano because it has the potential to cause the very kind of eruption that we are attempting to avoid. In the present moment, the most effective defense is not control, but rather surveillance, early warning, and preparation. The real threat might be global, not local. Even if a supervolcano never erupts within our lifetimes, the possibility of it happening serves to bring to our attention something so profound: the fact that our Earth is extremely vulnerable. One single occurrence, which would only endure for a few days, has the potential to redefine decades of human progress. There are many things that are dependent on stability, including global supply lines, climate systems, food production, and even the economy. Additionally, a supervolcano is not concerned with technologies or national boundaries. It serves as a reminder that the greatest power on Earth is hidden beneath our feet, where it is both silent and unseen. Despite the fact that humanity is producing rockets, skyscrapers, and artificial intelligence, the Earth still possesses the ultimate reset button, which is forged in fire and is patiently waiting below. Could it really destroy the world? To return to the primary inquiry, would it be possible for a supervolcano to actually wipe out the entire planet? Probably not. The planet itself is the answer to this question. That the Earth would endure, life would pick up again. However, humanity, the civilization that we are familiar with, is a completely different story. A full-scale supereruption has the potential to propel our species to the brink of extinction by obliterating sunlight, bringing economies to their knees, and compelling billions of people to adjust to a world that is colder and darker. The only way we would live would be with scars. There is no question regarding whether or not a supervolcano will explode in the end. The question is when it will happen and how prepared we will be for it when it does. There is no science fiction involved in the story of supervolcanoes. Despite the fact that it is science, it is still being written right under our feet. If you found this movie thought-provoking, consider subscribing to our channel for other documentaries that delve into the unseen forces that shape our globe. Please click the like button to show your support for the channel, and then share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Do you believe that humanity could survive a supervolcano? The reason for this is that there is no doubt about it. The Earth has all the time in the world. Our time is the only one that matters.